folks, I'm going to tell you 5 quick facts about black bull markets. Now, did you know, number 1, they're New Zealand FMA regulated? Number 2, did you know they have a copy trading service where you can either be a signal provider or copy signals? And number 3, did you know they've got over 26,000 tradable assets, including Forex, crypto, stocks, indices, and even more? And number 4, did you know they offer 500 to 1 leverage? And number 5, if you open up an account today and trade 1 lot a month, they're going to give you TradingView Pro for free. Check them out, Black Bull Markets.
Good morning everybody. It's a pleasure to be here again this morning, and we're gonna hopefully take a look at gold this morning, and hopefully if we have a trade bring out, we'll hop in a trade and continue with our 25k challenge. And once again, I am EdCadet here with you from Dominican Republic. Unfortunately, we're currently under storm, so temperature is not good at all. It's been raining since last night without any pause, so hopefully everything stays well. And good morning, John. Morning. So as mentioned in our previous trades, in our previous lives, we had golds that were supposed to go down inside of this buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiencies. This big weekly gap that was here, and as you can see here on the weekly, we had this push down to clear the June low. That was the month of June lower low. So that was the low of the June, and it was cleared out, and it cleared July low and also June low here, and dip a little further inside of this buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. So right now we are seeing probably a little reversal inside of the range, or a little retracement inside of this range here, or a complete reversal to continue higher. So at this point, we have no clear point here yet. We don't know yet what price is most likely to do. So as we can see here, we have this green candle that was this week. Starting this week, we have bullish movement, and currently we are in a discount inside of this range. We are below 25, below 75%, so we are in a discount. And as you can see, let me remove this. As you can see here, within the range that we're trading, within the trading range here that has been defined by those from this candle high to this candle low. That's our range currently, and we're in a discount. And inside of that range, we have 2 point of interest on the weekly. We have this weekly fair value gap here that formed the first, I believe it was the second week of August, and we have this weekly inversion fair value gap here. What is ICT? ICT is Inner Circle Trader. It's I would say a framework, I call it. It's created by Michael Otterson, which is the father of many concepts in trading. He has a total framework for trading, for figuring out the narrative behind prices. So you can check it out on YouTube. If you type in ICT, you'll definitely find his channel. So Yep. So we have 2 point of interest on the weekly, this weekly inversion fair value gap and this weekly fair value gap, and as well as if price wanted to go down, we could consider this down close candle. But at this point, we are seeing a bullish momentum and price wanting to retrace a little bit or reverse um, after taking the low here and dipping a little bit further inside of this imbalance here. So let's drop down on the daily time frame here. So as we can see on the daily time frame, price has been distributed so fairly, if I can say it like that, because we don't see any imbalances in this price range. I'm curious about MMM. If you could check that up, John is asking. What do you mean curious about it? What do you mean exactly by being curious about it? So yes, on the daily time frame, we don't really have that much imbalance, if not at all. As we can see, we had a little, very little fair value gap here that was fully filled. But besides that, we can see that price has been distributed um, beautifully. No gaps, almost no gaps at all. If not this little one that has been filled already, we have no gaps at all here. So currently we are seeing this retracement or reversal here. As we can see, price that was on Thursday. On Friday we had this candle being indecisive, kinda, and on Monday we can see that this candle dipped down below the Friday's low and as well as the Thursday's low a little bit to take out the liquidity before moving higher up. And currently, for today, price has already taken out the previous day's high, which is signs of bullish momentum. And as targets, we as an overall target, we have this up close candle here, and above it, the weekly fair value gap that we denoted earlier. Yes, definitely. If you are watching it, it's definitely bullish long term. So if you're watching on the weekly time frame and you like zoom out a little bit, you can see that on the long term since last year we were bullish. Like we had a little retracement here, we go here, but by going here we didn't take out this area, this high here. So we had a second retracement. We had a first retracement inside of this imbalance. We had a push up inside of this breaker here, and we had a second retracement here inside of the imbalance again that took out the previous low, which can indicate a reversal. As I said, I mean, it might reverse from this bearish movement to continue higher and taking this high, as it's currently almost like an equal high here. So it might be going up to take this high, but at this point in time, price hasn't given us enough I would say data, enough price movement to let us know that it really wants to go that high. So at this point in time, we'll focus more on more closer PD arrays. Like when I say closer, when we're analyzing, we try to stay as close to price as possible. We don't try to like predict price in 1 month, because it might take price 1 week to go there as well. It might take it like 1 to 3 months. So we don't know when exactly it's gonna go there. But at this point in time, we're just focusing on this weekly fair value gap and this weekly inversion fair value gap. So those are two main interests. As at this point, we don't expect price to, after taking out this low and being in a such dramatic drop, I would say, because gold has been dropping since the end, I would say, of July till now. So at this point, we can expect some retracement, some pull back into this fair value gap or weekly inversion fair value gap here. But overall, as you said, it's bullish. And I don't trade support and resistance, but if you say it like that, yes, you can see it's like the same perspective. It's bullish, and at this point, we are looking for more bullish momentum in price. We are looking to see price going up instead of continuing down at this point. So, based on the reaction that it has on this in this weekly fair value gap, or maybe this weekly inversion fair value gap, we will be sure we will be able to know if it's gonna continue up or if it's gonna reverse and continue down. So it's gonna be based on the reaction that price has on the weekly fair value gap. For example, if we passed through that, we closed above it, so we can expect to see this inversion fair value gap be tapped into. If this is not reacting as a support, as a resistance for price, we can see it go through this high then. So it's a step-by-step process. So as we are watching price, we're gonna be able to know what exactly it wants to do. But we're not trying to predict it's like 4 months movement or 1 month movement, but 1 week at a time while we have the big picture in mind. So let's go down to the 1 hour time frame here. So on the 1 hour, we have breakout structure here. That was yesterday's high here, and we take this. It was earlier this morning in London session. So we had a breakout structure here, and below we have a fair value gap here. Not sure if price will want to dip down below here, but that's a possibility because we have also this down close candle here. That it just touched into, and we might be seeing some movement up, continuing up. In terms of target, we have this high that has already been taken out. That was Tuesday 17, last Tuesday. We have this high and this high. Those are all targets. This high and this high here, targets for any expected movement up. So as there's also a fair value gap further down. Yes, definitely we have a fair value gap here in yesterday's price, a big fair value gap. But as I really like to say it, I'm not sure we have any big moves coming today. So let me check here. So we are Tuesday, August 22nd. At 10, we have not big news. We don't have any big news coming today. So based on the fact that we're expecting price to move a little bit higher and not going down at this point, I wouldn't want to see price go that far down. Well, it's always a possibility, but let me see here. Yes, it's a possibility, definitely. It's not impossible to see price go down there. It's within the range here from yesterday's low to our price high right now. That's below the 62% level here. So price can definitely go down there, but I wouldn't favor that. As we can see, price already, first of all, yesterday we had a breaking market structure here that take out this high here and confirmed, I would say, the movement up. And further again, we have a drop, an initial drop yesterday around 10 that enters this down close candle here and a push up. And then during the new day, we have a second market structure shift breakup structure here that also confirms the up move. And we already take out this high here. So to me, it would make more sense to price to go at this level and continue up if it wants to go up instead of going down there. To me, that's more logical. Let's go down to the 15 minutes right now. We can see breakup structure here. So if we're, I usually like to see where my London range, I mean London high and lows were. Like if you were watching here, you can see this was, I mean, London high and low here, and price has already retraced within that here inside of this fair value gap at 7. Here at 7, we had this beautiful retracement inside of the fair value gap here, and we're currently pushing up. Sasquatch is saying, in my opinion, on the hourly time frame, it already take this. Yes, that was Thursday high. It already took it out and took out sell side liquidity. So I think it will go short. You mean buy side liquidity or sell side liquidity? And by taking those highs, it took out buy side liquidity definitely. But you said sell side liquidity on which time frame? And yes, I mean, if it definitely took out buy side liquidity, yes, it's in a premium, definitely took buy side liquidity here. And as we mentioned, we would favor price to go down there inside of this fair value gap on the hourly time frame. So basically, even if we're expecting higher movements to go into this weekly fair value gap, but price still has to deliver fairly without any imbalances. I mean, without any big imbalances. So we're still expecting price to go down there before continuing up, because we can see that is a big fair value gap above a down close candle. And not any down close candle. It was formed at midnight. So usually those point of interest are more have more strength depending on the time, at what time they formed. Like if you have an order block that formed at 9:30, 8:30 during New York session open, or 3-4 during London open, or at 20-21 during Asian open, those are they have more strength usually for price. So yes, definitely, as you said, we're looking on a short-term basis. We're looking for price to dip down below inside of this fair value gap on a short-term basis. So this could potentially be a failed swing. As you can see here, we have this high here, this low, and this high. So if this is a failed swing, as it's going here, we could that would be our break of structure, confirming the failed swing, and we could expect price to give us a little bit of retracement into this and then drop here. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody and stained from the people who deceive. So basically from there to there and there and there. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test. Expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next year. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming. So it's kinda what we expect. Although we know that we also have a bigger fair value gap below the 50% level, but I favor this one. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I want to be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse.
High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft. You can change lives. You create thoughts. Never waste time. You got one shot. You got one life. Better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5. No mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way. What I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to
You're welcome, Sasquatch. Definitely. Pleasure.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy.
I would say that's our short-term move here, and in the long term, that's our expectation.
Did what I had to do just to feed me, and what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan, your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be fucking sour, take a cold shower, scream until you're louder, work until you're prouder, and all the doubters, they're just young downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it.
Definitely. Definitely. Like, for example, myself, I trade with my girlfriend. She also trades. Usually we seek confirmation from each other for some trades. Definitely gives you more perspective in price, because sometimes you might be wrong, and usually when you're wrong in trading, you can't see it before end. You only see it, most of the time you only see it while you're in the trade or after you take a loss. When you're wrong, usually. So
I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is.
we could consider this a breaker on the 5 minute here if we're trying to frame our entry. This down close candle here, because as you can see we had a push up, push down, a swing here, and a higher high here that took out this swing. So if it breaks below here, getting married to a trade. Definitely. Yeah, because sometimes you're so wrong about the market, but it's like you probably have a wrong picture overall, and then you just can't see where you're right or where you're wrong. You just can't see it. Like it's not visible to you. You blind to that. And if not for someone else to show you their perspective of price, to show you, to tell you that well, to me price is bearish, or to me price is bullish, to me price is going down, to me price is going up, it's definitely not gonna throw you off your roads, throw you off your analysis. So if it's you by yourself, you're definitely gonna take that loss.
That's it, the end of the song. Next time you sing along. Trust me, there's nothing wrong. I just need to carry on, cause society's a myth put there to make you sit. Listen to what they give. Don't ask questions, shut your lid. Yeah, don't ask questions, shut your lid. I need to run away from this and go get off the grid. Feel like my brain is overloaded, man, I'm losing it. Don't let them tell you what to do, man, they don't know shit.
So if we are on the 15-minute time frame here, we can consider this a failed swing here. As we can see, we have a swing high here, a swing low, and a lower high. So we could consider this a failed swing. The ICT macro indicator, it's ICT has a concept that it calls the macros. It's like a 20-minute time windows, and during that 20-minute time windows, the algorithm is trying to get price somewhere, and they usually start a move or continue a move or reverse from a move at those specific time. So normally there's a lot of macros that he put out there, but the most common ones are the one from 850 to 910, 950 to 1010, 1150. Let me see here. I don't have all of them in my mind. We have first one 233 to 3, 403 to 430, 850 to 910, 950 to 1010, 1050 to 1110. 1150 to 1210, and 110 to 140, 315 to 345. So during those times, if you are looking in the chart, you will probably find a setup, and you can take a trade. I mean, so in the 15-minute time frame, as I was saying, that was a failed swing. But on the 5 minutes, and also on the 5 minute inside of this failed swing, you can identify a higher high here, which gives room to create this breaker here. So if it's breaking down below, it will confirm it, and we could attempt to take a trade based on that if it's confirming the breaker here. So ICT macros, let me see if I can give you an example here. That was yesterday's price. For example, this was the 850 to 910 macro. So it's a price range that starts at 850 and ends at 910. So for example, in this price range, you had the initial price was pushing up, and as you can see here, it breaks structure here, and then at this point it reversed. So they use this macro to reverse the movement, so from a bullish movement to a bearish movement. And as you can see here, if you were to take a trade, easy trade, you have this from this high to this low that breaks the low of the macro. You have a 62% retracement here, 0.62 level. That's OTE, beautiful sell trade. And if you were not to take an OTE, you could have taken based on the fair value gap here. You have a fair value gap that's at 9.4, and this entry would be at 9.22. So at 9.4 here, you have a fair value gap, and you get this beautiful entry here on the fair value gap. After market structure shift, breakout structure here, breakout structure here. So that's a macro, and as you can see here, we have a second macro at 950 1010, and they use it to continue the pricing, like continue going down. As you can see, you have this high before the macro that was taken out, that's liquidity taken out here on buy side, and then it continues down. And here you have the 1050 1110 macro that's used to prepare for the normally the New York lunch. So you can see, like, not New York lunch, but not this one. I don't use the New York lunch one. So that's after the market open. So they use that to kind of reverse the market. As you can see here, market stops going down and it starts pushing up. That movement here reversed the market at 1050 1010. Here, market is about to close. They use it to get a final move out of the market, and after that you don't have any move. But they use the macros, the algorithm use the macros to change the direction of the market, to maintain a continuation in the direction of the market. So at those specific time, if you're looking, you'll definitely catch a trade. So
he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I want to be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft. You can change lives. You create thoughts. Never waste time. You got one shot. You got one life. Better pop off. What's do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss, just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me. And what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan, your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be fucking sour.
I trade gold, UJ, and US30.
Until you're prouder and all the doubters, they're just young downers. I swear
All
to God, they'll let me
all pairs, volatile pairs.
off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it.
So we are seeing some bullish movement here on gold, on US30 as well.
I wear the crown.
On the daily, we definitely had some retracement down there inside of this, I would say this leg, this price leg here. And we are seeing some probably continuation, as US30 has been in an uptrend since March. So probably that was a retracement, and we're probably seeing the continuation up here. But yesterday was a beautiful trade day. As for today, we are almost at yesterday's high. So if we take the high of yesterday, that might just be a confirmation of the continuation. As we can see here, price has taken a lot, although slightly, but it has taken liquidity below this low here. So, but so far we have seen price going up without any major retracement for the day. And we can see here we have a fair value gap. And we are also at down close candle here. So maybe that can give us some movement, something like this, or
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement.
but I usually trade US30 at New York Open, so 9:30 exactly. I don't trade it before that. Usually wait for the New York to open. So I mostly trade it during 9:50, 10:10 macros, or 10:50, 11:10 macros. 9:50, 10:10 macros, I usually capitalize on the any retracement that we may have after the open at 9:30. So at 9:30 we have the open, usually a big move that gives you displacements with fair value gaps. So if we ever return in those fair value gap, I look to take a trade, or 1050, 1110. Usually it's gonna be a silver bullet. So that's when I trade US30 mostly. Golds, morning, and UJ in the Asian session. So far prices, can I say, consolidating inside of a range? Yep. As we can see here, that's the high of the range from this point to this point here. We have a box here.
That's it, the end of the song. Next time you'll sing along. Trust me, there's nothing wrong. I just need to carry on, cause society's a myth.
So far, let me see here, we have this low that comes in at 1901.910, and this low that comes in at 1901.870. So this is lower, and this is, let me see, this high comes in at 1903.445. For a second, yes. Price is inside of a range right now, this little range here. So we'll have big news in USD tomorrow, the PMI news from 9:30. $9:45 tomorrow, but for today, not really big news, I would say. Also, we have FOMC members picks, but not big news. You're welcome, Jason. Pleasure. It just help you, how can I say, define those ranges, those price and time ranges. Just mark them out on the chart. Yeah, definitely. Patience is a game changer. Like, sit on your hands. Sit on your hands. Or you can just, like, for example, in TradingView here, you can see here, you can just ask price, ask it to give you an alert when price reach that level. Or you can place one alert here and one alert at the top. So once it break out of that range, you get back on the chart. But while it's in it, you just stay out, or you don't even sit in front of your computer. Right now, we are seeing a confirmation of this breaker. And a displacement, as you can see by the volume, the length of the candle. And if this candle close down below, we would see a fair value gap right inside of the breaker. And on the 1 minute time frame, I believe that would be a beautiful return into the breaker here. So I have entered a trade here, short position. One to two. I don't want to. I mean, I usually don't want to go too deep inside of a fair value gap when I'm using it as a target. So at the same time, you gotta be patient, but at the same time, you gotta be ready to move fast when you're trading, because price doesn't wait around when it wants to go where it wants to go. Does it have to be used on the 1 minute? No, you can use it on the 1, on the 3, and on the 5 minutes. You're risking 2%. No, I'm not. I'm never risking that much unless I'm really up on my account, which is not the case right now. I am down to something% on the account, so I'm only risking 0.25%. Expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next? He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine. Jorge Andres Zuleta is saying W. Not sure what that means. And risking, I mean, when I'm taking a challenge and I'm aggressive, I can risk 2% on the first trade, depending on the trade. But right now, I'm not aggressive. I'm totally not aggressive, because I have taken 14 trade and I believe 13 losses, and I'm still down only 2%. So definitely risk management is key, because sometimes you might be going through a losing streak, and if you don't have proper risk management, you're gonna blow it. I have taken 13 losses, like 13 losses. When I see that, I just say, yo, that's crazy, because if I was to be aggressive on the challenge, that would have been the end of me.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me.
Well, we'll wait to see if this trade pan out as expected, which is highly likely. Then I'll have to leave you then because I have to to go do some get some groceries because as you know I'm in the Dominican Republic right now and there's a storm upon us and I have to do some to get some groceries from the market just in case. As you can see here in the breaker remark, after the breaker has been taken out, it immediately retraced back into it with this candle. So what you can do usually is when using a breaker is wait for it to be broken, like to be taken out in one side, and then you wait for the close and then you jump into the lower time frame, like for example 3 minute 1 minute time frame, and you will be able to see a clearer picture. Like for example, I mean, not clearer picture but a cleaner entry. As you can see here, this candle closed below the breaker and then we have a fair value gap on the 1 minute and then boom, beautiful entry. Although I catch it down there, but if I were, I mean, as I'm doing the live and taking a trade at the same time, it kind of slows me down, but that would have been my entry here. So beautiful entry. As you can see, if you were looking for to enter on a fair value gap under 5 minutes, you wouldn't have this opportunity because it didn't leave any fair value gap. It just gives you the breaker here, break it, you trace into it and drop. No, so far it's not too bad. It's been raining since yesterday during the day, like almost 24 hours of rain. That's bad for some people, I know. I mean, some part of the country, in the countryside, that's not a good thing. But so far for me, it's not bad. It's not that bad, but you know, we're in the Caribbean, so we're kind of used to it. I use 0.5% and then add another 0.5% when the trade goes in my direction. You means you pyramid the trade, like adding onto the trade or the next trade?
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the news it fits, I'm losing shit, a stupid myth.
Lev Trader, hi head from experience. Have you found that one ICT strategy works more than the others? Well, I believe I've mentioned that already on the channel. To me, ICT doesn't have a strategy. ICT is not a strategy. It's definitely not a strategy. So I'm gonna explain what I mean. ICT to me is a framework. Like it's a canvas. It's the canvas on which you trade. Like it's a framework. It's not a strategy. For example, your strategy might be breakouts. Your strategy might be Fibonacci retracement, moving averages, RSI. That might be your strategy. ICT is a framework in the sense of it teaches you how price delivers, how price book from high to low, from internal range liquidity, fair value gaps, breaker, order blocks. So it kind of teaches you how price book, nothing more. I mean, it's not gonna be like one strategy, like you use the fair value gap as one strategy, you use the breaker as one strategy, you use the order block as one strategy. No, it's not. It's whole. The breaker, the fair value gap, the order block, they are the framework. It's how the market book price. So it's, to me, it's not a strategy. So if you're trying to take ICT concepts as a strategy, I think you're still getting it wrong. There, I mean, it says that there are models, like how price book. They are models. They're not strategy, as he said. It's not like a strategy. You have to have a strategy of your own, whether it's breakout. Like for example, here I have a breaker that I have identified, and I have this candle that breaks out from the range of the breaker. So if I'm a breakout trader, I'm entering at this breaker low. My stop loss is above the high, more protective stop loss, or if I want, I could put it above the breaker's high. And then here's my breakout trade. But the breakout trade is based on the breaker, which is a framework that tells me that's how price delivers. If you see, I mean, I'm taking the trade based on the breaker, which is how price delivers, the core of price movements. But my strategy is a breakout, because using a breaker, I mean, like for example, ICT can say that, used to say that, I mean, using a breaker, it doesn't need to wait, it doesn't need to have this close below the breaker to enter the trade. Usually after seeing, I mean, after knowing that, you have to have the big picture always. After knowing that price is wanting to go higher, and identifying on a bigger time frame, like for example the 1 hour, you identified the fair value gap here on the 1 hour, and within this range, as I believe it was Sasquatch that mentioned it earlier, we are in a premium. So it's logical to look for sell position in a premium. So at this point, we know that price wants to go down short term. Long term, we know that price wants to go up. But let's consider the short term. As we know that price wants to go down, we have a logical level, which is the fair value gap on the 1 hour, where we expect price to go to. At least. It can go further down, but at least to this fair value gap. So having that in mind, so we're looking for sell trades. So we go down to the 15 minutes, and on the 15 minutes, we have a failed swing. I believe it was it called it mitigation block. I believe I'm not really, how can I say, versed. I mean, I know the concept, but I'm not really versed into it. I don't use it really, but it called it mitigation block. We have what we call the failed swing here. We have a higher high, a low, and a lower high here. So that's a failed swing, and that's on the 15 minutes. So we could have expected, as price, you see, as price go break that failed swing, I said that we could have expected a move up here, which we get on the second candle. It didn't really reach that level, but it did give you a pullback if you wished to enter on that candle. That's on the 15 minutes, and we go even further down on the 5 minutes. Sasquatch pyramiding this trade. I mean, I do it sometimes, but I should be up on the account. Like if I have an account and I'm 5% up, I can pyramid that trade. If I am seeing a big trend, trend like structure being broken, like I would start pyramiding at the second breakout structure and stop at the third breakout structure. So at most 2. And at the same time, I'm moving my stop loss each time. So here on the 5-minute, inside of the fail swing, we have seen a breaker. What I mean, a breaker, I mean, I'm not gonna explain ICT, but it's kind of a breaker is, what is a breaker? It's like, instead of a fail swing, let's say you have a successful swing. Like here you have a high, a low, and a higher high. This swing didn't fail, so that's a successful swing. And then the last down close candle before the successful swing that take out this previous high here is our breaker. Why we didn't consider this down close candle? Because the price of this down close candles is lower, so we take the one that is lower than this candle. You see, it closes here and this closes here, so that's our breaker. And the breaker is usually very strong PDRA when you are using it on higher time frame as well. I will show you an example later on in a little bit on the weekly or daily, I believe. The breaker here is considered as resistance for price. So when it break out of it, we could have taken the trade way before that, like in those areas. But I usually want to see it. Why we could have taken it higher? Because we already know that price wants to go at least to this fair value gap before continuing going up. So that's why we could have taken it way higher. But I like to see a confirmation of the breaker for myself. So I'm seeing this confirmation here with this candle close below it, and the next candle open and then return into it. That's our entry. And if you go down on the 1 minute, you'll see a fair value gap. That gives you even better entry for that trade. So let me see here on the weekly. Let me show you a beautiful breaker on the weekly. Here, this is a successful swing. As I said, you have this swing high here, this swing high here, and you have a move down, creating a swing low, and then a move up, creating a higher high that take out this high. So this price leg will be considered our breaker, and most precisely the last down close candle inside of this price leg. You can just inverse this for bullish, but that's a bearish breaker. And as you can see, price dip down below it, but I mean dip down below once and then return into it and dip further and return into it a second time and dip further. And one thing you have to be on the lookout for is usually when you have multiple PDRAs or confluences. Like for example, you have this breaker, inside of this breaker you have a fair value gap. That's even more confirmation. And as this is a breaker, you can consider this a great order block as it will stay. You see, breaker, order block, fair value gap. There's no way price is not gonna react to this or hold. So at this point, I'm moving my stop to break even. If I'm taking a trade on a short-term basis, like if I'm not trying to catch the daily move, I'm moving my stop. But if I'm taking a trade, for example, in Asia, and I expect it to continue during London, New York, I'm not moving my stop loss, because most of the time you would be in a trade, the trade is going in your direction, and then boom, it just retrace exactly to your stop loss at break even and continue in the direction. So at this point, I believe you have, a second trade for the day. You just need to wait for confirmation. But after this sell trade, you have a second buy trade here. Just need to wait for confirmation. As I mentioned, I favor this fair value gap on the 1 hour, but we also have a second fair value gap here on the 1 hour, a little bit below the 50% and the 62% retracement level on the range. So although I favor this fair value gap, that's why I said we have a second trade, but you have to wait for confirmation. So once you have a confirmation, you could take it from there, or otherwise, if you see that price is passing through this fair value gap, expect it to at least react this one. So I believe that's gonna be it for the day, and it was a pleasure to be with you, Lev Trader, Sasquatch, Jorge, Jason. I'm only citing the names of that was there with me in the chat. John at the very beginning, and I see please continue, sir. Daniel. So all of you that were with me in the chat, thank you very much for your participation. And as you can see here, we just hit our profit target. Beautiful trade. Beautifully hit. that's definitely my second win on the account, and although it's not a big win, but I'm really proud of it. It's one thing that you gotta be really aware of. When you do a good job, you have to be proud of yourself, because trading is about that. You have to be confident, and if you're not proud about yourself, about what you did, you're not gonna be confident. I'm not saying you gotta be like excited over one trade. No, that's not it. But being able to do the analysis, enter the trade. Entering the trade is the most difficult part. Being able to enter the trade and wait for the trade to hit your TP without being greedy, without freaking out, closing the trade beforehand. Yeah, profit is profit, doesn't matter. Yes, definitely. But I don't see it as profit in terms of money right now, as I'm down on the account. I see it as being, how can I say that, consistent, sticking to your rules. For example, like I have had 13 losses, as I said, and I have stick to my rules. I have stick to what I'm trading, not strategy upping, not moving up and down. You stick to it, you keep it. Sometimes you might be off a little bit because mentally you're not right, mentally you're not good, but by sticking to your rules, you allow room for improvement, you allow room for getting where you want to go. Because if you're just moving from rules to rules, moving from strategy to strategy, you're not gonna see improvement, you're not gonna see anything at all. So as we're seeing here, at this point, I am favoring the second fair value gap. So if you were in this trade, I would hold it till the second fair value gap. At this point, hold it with measure, I would say. I would definitely bring my stop loss to break even and hold it. But I had a take profit set, so I'm already out. So if you were in the trade, you could hold it with caution. It did break below, but it didn't close below, so with caution. But at this point, if it closed below the fair value gap, my interest would shift to the second fair value gap. If it closed below it, but if it doesn't, as you can see here, that was our analysis. So I will leave you here. Have a beautiful day, wonderful day. I believe I will be live tonight at Asian, so see you there tonight. Thank you. Bye bye.